wins in a row, a season high. Just how have you been able to find that rhythm over this stretch?
I think it's been about we've had some practices, and I think practicing has definitely tuned us up. Fine tuning as far as the details. We knew before All-Star that the second half of the season is always about people making adjustments, people finding ways to stop what we have to do, and I think that on us, we try to do a good job of staying locked in at practices and shoot-arounds and all that kind of stuff to be where we need to be.
You guys have talked a lot, and Steph has talked a lot about stacking days, the consistency. What has it meant to see it come to fruition in this 4-game stretch?
Well, I don't think we were consistent tonight in how we played. But I mean, hey, we have more games to play, and we just got to build off this, watch film, go back to the drawing board, make our adjustments, and gear up for Seattle.
And what do you think was inconsistent about this game tonight?
We like to think that we've made too many jumps as a team and as a group, to not close out certain situations where we're supposed to. Hats off to Dallas. They're an unbelievable team, young, vibrant team with great players. But I think for us, when we get a chance to really put ourselves in a position to win games, we got to win them. I think any competitor knows that when we say win them. And I think we took some time off. We had a little drop off today, and I think that's what she's talking about. It was inconsistent. I think we could have been a little bit better.
And this is the beginning of 4 games in 6 days, all on the road. Just how you guys make sure to keep rested, stay sharp with all that travel and movement?
Normatec, massages, treatment, all that. Like, we got to be pros, take care of our body, and then also just allow ourselves to have, like, that mental reset. So
it's here.
It's
right here. I think for us, to our point, I think mentally we just got to be where we're supposed to be where our feet is, and do that literally because, all these teams are really great, and we can't get ahead of ourselves, or look back at what happened. We just got to be, like, right there, and I think our recovery is that mentally.
I want to start off from the beginning. You guys out-rebounded Dallas. I want to say it was 41-28. I don't have an official box score, but very impressive night overall, despite you not necessarily liking the way that you all played. How much of that was effort and just overall game plan?
I think a majority of our game and everything you saw tonight is effort. Being able to take Paige Beckers out of certain shots is effort. Being able to, Tierra McCowan, Leroux, they're not small players, they're big players, and so that's effort on big, our bigs, Didi, AB, Tosh. I think it's effort all the way around because we have to do stuff that's like every possession. We don't just take off possessions, and I think that's the effort that comes into the play because if it wasn't, we probably wouldn't be here saying we got a win.
And how do you feel like your defense just helped kick off the offense?
A dub was a dub tonight, but we were not happy about our defensive, presence. We got to be more disruptive. We got to be on one accord with our schemes, and I think that, again, that's where that inconsistency plays in. We just wasn't on one page, but when you saw glimpses of it, but once we did, that set the tone for our transition and all that, and for us to get into our offensive sets. But moving forward, we have to be able to be better.
And as far as each other goes, how do you guys feel like you just add to this team? Obviously, Aari, you only joined this team mid-season, officially on a full contract now. Congratulations. But just the impact that Aari has had overall, how do you feel like?
Oh, it's unbelievable. This is our blessing in disguise. We always tell her that we appreciate her seriously because our season was all over the place, obviously, with, the people that was on the team, the people that wasn't on the team, injury, Tutu not being around as much with her injuries, and just, it takes a lot for a pro to step up and, be where her feet is and step and fill in shoes that, not a lot of people expect. And I think for Aari, she compliments myself, all the other players so well because she just gets it as far as knowing where people are, knowing the chemistry. And I think for us to her, we have to make sure that we keep patting her on the back because this is a big position to fill, and I think that she's doing it unbelievably well. So, shout out to you, Ed.
Appreciate you.
Shout out.
Love it. Thank you.
Of course.
Have you seen the team be able to find that rhythm?
Yeah, just finding different ways. I didn't feel like we played particularly well tonight, but finding ways to get wins, and that's going on some scoring bursts. That's being able to rely on multiple players, getting stops when needed, making adjustments, and continuing to grow. I mean, this is a group that's been resilient all season long, and I think that we have such quality depth that we can rely on one another, and rely on one another in certain moments. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular from a stat sheet standpoint, but coming in and helping get a big defensive stop, or coming in and getting a big rebound, or coming in and setting a great screen. I mean, all of those little things, because this group knows and understands the value of those things. So I'm proud of them for continuing to stack days. We've got a ways to go, but it's nice to start this road trip off with a win.
And Kelsey and Aari both talked about how they didn't think it was a consistent game either, and I think Kelsey talked about not putting the game away like she thought they should have. Just what did you see in the defense today?
Yeah, I mean, I think, certainly for us, there was two things that stood out. One, our fouling. Fouling too much, fouling shooters too much. Some of that is that we put ourselves in a bad position because we were 2 steps behind from the start. Some of that was not being in correct defensive rotation. And then not taking care of the ball. Those are 2 areas that we've been inconsistent with throughout the course of the season. And when we're good defensively, we're really good. And when we're not, when we're not consistent on that end, we struggle. And I felt like we had it in moments throughout the course of the game, but enough to come away with the win, and that's what we needed.
And this is obviously the beginning of 4 games, 6 days on the road. Just how important is it to keep the mental sharp on this trip?
It's huge. It's huge. And, we got a long flight tonight, so making sure that we're doing everything that we can from a recovery standpoint, physically, mentally, and emotionally, being locked in, because we're not going to have a lot of high usage practice days. They're going to have to be mental days. So making sure that we can have a high attention to detail with our scouts, a high attention to detail, what we're looking for to get offensively, defensively, as well as the physical aspect of our recovery. So it's really important. And I think that's an area that this group has been good and got to continue to try to be better.
You mentioned that aspect of almost like an importance of balance, right? How do you find that balance, especially mid-season, when it's like, yes, at the same time you want your players to rest and recover, but you also anticipate and wanting to, make a deep playoff run?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the nature of the league, and I think that we have to, as coaches, be smart about the fact that now we're starting a West Coast swing, that we're playing every other day. That we're crossing 2 time zones tonight, and rely on our medical staff to advise us in some of those ways too. And then we gotta have accountability from our players to know that physically, if we can't go through everything on the floor, that they've got to mentally be locked in and be able to transition some of the mental reps, the film, the walking through to live action. And, everybody learns in a different way. Everybody absorbs information in a different way. And so our job as coaches is to try to find the best of both worlds when we're in the midst of these kind of travel situations.
And I asked Kelsey in regards to, or about this, but Aari, just the impact that she's had for you all this season, what do you like most about what you've seen from her thus far?
No, number one, her energy. I mean, she is, she's an energy giver. She's fast. Her speed changes the game for us. Her ability to get the ball from one end to the other quickly. Her ability to get into players defensively. She changes the game for us in that way. I have continued to be impressed with just how quickly she immersed herself, into our team and fit in right away. She's a student of the game. She studies it. She knew the offenses before she landed. She just has been a great fit for us. And, I also love her accountability on the floor. I mean, she's a player who takes ownership and has really stepped in and led our team in a really great way.
Thank you.
Thanks, Thank you.
Thank you.